Cover's getting worn out.
We'll call this meeting of the City of Hawarden, Iowa to order on Wednesday, April 24th, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. All present are council and staff and myself. This evening, if you wish to address the council and myself and staff, that comes at standard agenda item number 1C. Okay? We'll ask that you come up to the dais if you wish. On the back side of your agenda is the public meeting procedure, so you'll see that we limit your comments to 5 minutes. First standard agenda item, approval of April 10th, 2019 council meeting minutes. Is there a motion for that approval?
So moved.
There's been a motion by Jen. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Rob. Further questions or clarifications? Hearing none, then all in approval of the April 10th, 2019 City Council meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 5-0. Agenda item number 1B, approval of the April 24th claims for payment. I will start to my left for questions. Rob, any questions there?
No questions.
Okay, Jen?
No questions.
John?
None, thanks.
Okay. Travis?
None, thanks.
Tim, any questions and claims?
So moved.
There's been a motion by Tim. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor, then, of the April 24th claims for payment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Abstain.
That passes 4 with 1 abstention. By Travis. Open agenda item number 1C, open business from the community, please. Anyone wish to address the council?
I would like to address the council.
Okay, come to the dais, please.
I'm addressing the council. I'm Josh Ilds, and I'm addressing the council concerning one of these, I guess I don't know what you call them, that you get from the police station for your spring cleanup or whatever.
Okay.
I have this stating that I cannot have livestock where I'm living, my horses. And what we have here is a bad problem that the neighbors have had to look at for 4 years. I'm trying to fix this problem by cleaning it up. These horses are doing the work of 30 men. They eat day and night. They're cleaning up all the underbrush so I can find the metal. This is a Hawarden problem, not just my problem. I mean, I'm helping you guys by cleaning up this mess. I've removed over 1,000 pounds of leaking car batteries that have leaked all the acid out on the ground that everybody else has just driven by the last 4 years, you know. I was unaware livestock was not allowed there. There's existing livestock infrastructure on the property. There's fence, electric fencer, bunks, corral, and bones from cattle. Every neighbor there recalls livestock on the property. One of the neighbors recalls opening her gate and letting the livestock from that property enter her pasture and graze. I'm using a natural approach rather than going in there with a dozer, scraping off all the dirt, making it look worse than it already looks, and having to spend thousands of dollars to replace this dirt. I've got piles and piles of steel that the horses are turning up every day, but I can't find it because it's in underbrush that deep. I mean, you walk through the pasture, you trip and fall on your face. The metal is going to be picked up by post recycling. It's going to be thrown in big roll-off dumpsters, but I don't want to have them bring the dumpsters until we have the majority of it accumulated, so I don't have to keep having them come back as we find more. I would like to graze the horses across the property to slowly, clean it up. If you drive by, the east side is where we started, and it's quite visible that the east side is being cleaned up. Every neighbor out there has got positive comments. Paul Miller is photographing the horses for his enjoyment and said he loves what we're doing. He hated looking at that mess. Rhonda Briggs says she loves to watch horses. She said, who doesn't love horses? And the place is looking great. Joan Smith recalled all the cattle that were always there when John Smith owned the property and managed it correctly before ESI took over. Kevin Caskey says they're not running around barking. That was his reply. They don't bother me. They're not running around barking. And I have a statement from Kevin Caskey's wife. If you guys would like to maybe read that, can I pass it around at the end? Or I've got receipts. We're dealing with a recycler in Sioux Falls. So I've got receipts on the poundage of batteries we're removing. There are fuel tanks laying all over the property. There's a hole full of computers. I'm not getting paid to clean this. I'm just living there, and this is the right thing to do, to clean this property up. So I was minding my own business, trying to take care of the place, and was informed that I was doing something wrong. Didn't know I was doing something wrong, and I would like it if we could work together somehow to correct this, because for 4 years, somebody's turned their head to this place. I don't understand why ESI wasn't responsible for cleaning up this mess. This is Brian here. His father owns the property, and Brian's father is now being approached about cleaning up all these tires. His father doesn't even understand English. So when he bought that place, how could have he been, informed that he was going to be stuck with this liability? And there has to be state law that makes ESI reclaim that, and not the next guy's problem, or the city of Hawarden's problem, or the neighbor's problem. If anybody has a well in that part of town, I'd be concerned. I'm not here to yell or anything, but is there a permit, an agreement? I'm only renting the place. I'm not going to be there forever. But while I'm there, if I take the horses out, in a month you're going to have weeds this tall again, and I'm not going to go out in the weeds and try to clean it, It's too hard, and nobody would want to do that. It's positive for Hawarden. It's become an attraction. You would not believe the traffic that drives by there since those horses have appeared. The children from the trailer court that probably don't have a whole lot to do, come stand on the road and photograph these horses and scream over the fence to me, "Hey, we love your horses." I mean, those children are having enjoyment. I just don't know if we take those horses off of there, I'm not going to be able to do what I told his father. I told his father if he'd rent me that place, I would do that place right. I would fix the house and I would clean up the yard. His father and mother, his father's at work tonight, that's why he's not here. They said I've been above and beyond everything I told them I would do. I've only been there a month and a half, and that place is turning around. They want the horses there. His father says we need the horses there. A 5-acre property without livestock. Who's going to do that mowing? Nobody would want to do that mowing. And you can't mow it because there is metal everywhere. There's propane tanks. There's acetylene tanks. There's computers, and you can't, you go mow through there with a bush hog and hit a propane tank, or it's just not going to be good. I can read this statement from Jennifer Caskey. It says, "To the council, I, Jennifer Caskey, as a neighbor to Josh Iltz, do not attest to the horses on their property. The horses cause no noise or any other nuisances. I have witnessed them working to pick up the property. I have noted the property appearance has improved with their efforts." Jennifer Caskey. I tried to get a hold of all you council members during the week to set up some sort of invite so you guys all could have come out this week and I could have showed you what was going on. I wasn't even allowed some of your numbers, let alone was I able to set up the invite, but I'm still open. I will give you a tour and show you the mess. I mean, it's driving by is one thing. Getting out of your car and walking through there is a totally another thing. I can show you what we've got done, what we want to do. Like I said, I was just minding my own business. I wasn't trying to bother nobody. My great-grandparents owned Rhonda Briggs' property. I was born in 80, and from 1980 at my great-grandparents till John Smith left that property, there was livestock on that property. Horses and cattle. My great-grandfather, Alan Vanderfeen, had Holstein bottle calves at the residence where Rhonda Briggs lives. There's cattle across the road from me. Greg Lynott lives directly west of me with cattle. there are llamas to the east of me, there are llamas by the river, so I'm just trying to understand.
Okay.
Maybe you've made an agreement with them, could you maybe, is there a permit, special access, something we could do to work together?
Okay. First of all, thank you for your good efforts in cleaning out the property.
And thank you for noticing, because
That's
somebody
very
needed to do it.
I did disseminate as the mayor, since we talked over the weekend, and gave the council opportunities to drive by and see for themselves. So they were awarded that privilege.
I invite you all to get together or individually come out.
We can't make any decisions with you as we're talking in public conversation here. I would encourage you to continue to talk with Mr. DeBryan and Mr. Utek. Obviously, we have ordinance in place for domestic animals, and apparently, obviously, and they probably will not deal directly with you since you're not the homeowner. Okay, you are the rentee, is that correct? Is that how it's, you're the person that's
Yes.
renting the property. So
Yes.
they have to deal with the property owner specifically. Okay?
But to my knowledge, there's no troubles, no complaints, you know, and it's all been good.
And that's not the issue as we're seeing it.
So is there some way to get around the issue of you guys recognizing my efforts that nobody else was going to do it and maybe issuing temporary or conditional use, some sort of a permit?
I can't say that right now because
Okay.
it's not an agenda item. But if the council wants to pursue something like that, they would work that out with Mr. DeBryan, Mr. Pickner, Chief of Police, and they would deal again with the homeowner specifically. Okay?
And the homeowner meant to be here tonight,
No,
and his
and
son
that's
is here,
fine.
and his son can speak his views if you would like.
No, I think we've got, from my understanding, I think we've got a good grasp of the situation at this point. And I certainly don't want to discourage you in your efforts in cleaning up that property.
And it's being recycled properly. It's going to a recycler where car batteries are not leaking into the ground, and
And all of us, property maintenance for the whole community is a large issue for us. So we thank you for your efforts in
and if
that.
somebody wanted to come by with a payloader and pick up a load of broken dashboards, you know, just to feel good, I sure welcome them.
And on top of that, as you said, you have a lot of tires out there. Perhaps somebody watching this maybe tonight may need some tires out there at their farm center.
We have them
something.
listed for free on the internet.
They can get in touch with you for now.
But realistically, them tires should be nobody's problem but ESI, and I don't know how to go about that.
But at this point, that's where they're at. So at this point, I'm going to thank you for your time.
All right?
We'll have staff continue to have conversations and see. what can be
Later
done.
on, tonight, or later, when would I know maybe some resolve?
We'll talk with staff tonight and we'll see what happens.
Should I stick around?
No, because it won't be decided tonight
Okay.
because it's not an agenda item.
Okay. I've never done this before, so
That's just fine.
I'm trying my best to understand your procedural ways.
You've done very well. Thank you again for being with us tonight.
All right, well, thank you guys for hearing me, and I wish, you know, you would see my efforts, and like I said, I'm not getting paid. I'm just doing this because it's the right thing to do. And I know that property from childhood, and when John Smith owned it, he kept the yard nice. The house was a very nice house. It was a salvage yard, but it was nice.
Times have changed a little bit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Is there any other open business from the community? Hearing none, then we'll move to the mayor's report. It's wonderful to be a part of the celebration for the West Sioux Elementary Schools of Ireton and Hawarden. They celebrated receiving the High Award from the Iowa Department of Education for PBIS, which is Positive Behavioral Intervention and Support. This program promotes and maximizes academic achievement and behavioral competence for all students. West Sioux has been a part of this program for the past 13 years. Through this program, these young children learn to care for each other and those around them, and along with community support, they will become caring and helpful adults. My thanks and congratulations to the administration, teachers, staff members, and students at West Sioux Elementary Schools for their work with this program and for being one of the top schools in all of the state. Visiting with the Hawarden Post Office, they would like to remind everyone that you need house numbers or numbers on your mailboxes for home delivery. Also, the postal workers need safe access to your mailboxes, meaning safe and clean porches to step on and no impedance from animals. Please check your surroundings to assist those that are doing you a service by bringing your mail to your residence. Earth Day was celebrated on Monday, April the 22nd. Earth Day began in 1970 and was promoted by Gaylord Nelson, a Wisconsin senator. What he said then is still as powerful today. The wealth of a nation is in its air, water, soil, forests, minerals, rivers, lakes, oceans, scenic beauty, wildlife habitats, and biodiversity. That's all there is. That's where all the economic activity and jobs come from. These biological systems are the sustaining wealth of the world. Since we are having the citywide cleanup shortly, now would be a great opportunity for everyone to clean up our part of the earth right here in Hawarden. Also, as parents and adults, we need to instill in our children and youth the importance of Earth Day and what it means to everyone. Please take the time to plant a tree, plant a garden or flowers to make our community a more beautiful place to live. Along those lines, we can and we must do better in our recycling program. Our program is very, very easy here in Hawarden. Please check the City of Hawarden website for important information about recycling. And lastly, my thanks to Mike and Travis and Jen for assisting with the interviews for the Economic Community Director. We had 4 wonderful interviews this past week, and we will continue to work to fill this position. We'll move on next, please, to council comments.
Should we look into what ESI, why they didn't clean up, or have we?
We did. I did look at that several years ago when they were selling the property, when they left it. I got in touch with the state of Iowa on that, and they did not have anything in place that would make them clean it up. They said we had to go by our own ordinances and procedures to do anything with that.
Can we go after them as the owner that did that, or is there, I mean, maybe, or at least maybe we should look into that, just because it seems like that is a mess out there, and somebody should be responsible for 'em when they make a mess.
I think what it would take is for us to probably abate that first, incur the expense, and try and collect from them. And I don't know if we would be
Owned by an
successful.
LLC is part of the issue, which is, I believe, a hollow LLC at this point.
'Cause I think they
we-
folded up and.
Yeah, there were other people, I don't want to go into it too much, but there have been other attempts to sell that property and so forth. I mean, I think they should probably bring suit against them if there's a basis for it, but it's,
Okay.
you know, you got to collect from somebody.
Right.
Just thinking it would really be nice to get that mess cleaned up, so maybe we
And I've
should.
been working with Jose recently, trying to find somebody to come and help him out with the tires, but he's looking at probably $10,000 to get it cleaned up. Just the tires.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been on there with when ESI owned it. It is in pretty rough shape, so it'd be nice to have somebody working to clean it up.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll work in any way that we can to make that happen, but yeah, I know a few people that look for tires, so I can ask, see if they have anything they want to pick up and yeah, try to get creative on it.
Any other comments from council? Hearing none, then we'll move to staff reports. We'll start with Jacob Stoner, Finance Officer, please.
Currently, I'm just working on a capital expense project, making sure that we have the correct monies put aside for when we have large purchases coming up in the future. And then I'm also starting to prep some of our end of the fiscal year things that are going to be coming up here for June and to prepping into the beginning of July. And that is all I have for right now.
Okay. Let's keep us in the black. Travis?
Just a reminder, citywide cleanup, May 3, 4, and 5. It's be here before you know it. The gates will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The following Friday, May 10th, will be the household hazardous chemical cleanup, and that's at the city street shop from 1 to 4. I'd like to thank the West Sioux seniors that volunteered today. We had 2 groups of seniors come down and cleaning ditches. They went around the parks and then the basketball court, doing some cleaning of sticks and any garbage, leaves. And then this Friday, the West Sioux Elementary, they'll be celebrating Earth Day with a project. They'll walk through the main park here, picking up sticks and garbage and doing their part as well. So just like to thank them.
Travis, the household types of things, those are like old paint cans and those types of things that they
Correct. Any
have to-
cleaners?
have to dry them, like the paint cans out first before they bring them down. Is that correct, or there's specific way
No,
that
not
gets done?
necessarily. If you dry them out, you can put them in the regular
Okay,
garbage.
so you can bring them with...
You bring them
with the
wet, yep. Half cans of
paint that I
WD-40,
have from
just,
19, yeah.
yep.
I won't go too far back, but yeah, okay. That's a great, again, that's a great service we do for the community.
Paint.
Mike, city administrator?
We're working to get the swimming pool up and running. We started to fill it last week, started the pumps up. We have to have the pool so full to run the pumps. Found out that both pumps are bad. So we're working with ACO out of Johnston to get new pumps and installed as soon as we can. We're also working with our insurance company on that. The basement flooded last fall after the pool was drained from the groundwater. Our sump pumps quit, and we think that's why the pumps failed. And you can't run it when there's no water, so turn it on this spring and they don't work. So we've also been notified of a grant from the Siouxland Foundation that the city received for replacement and upgrade some of the park equipment. The exact amount will be announced on May 13th.
Our thanks to the Siouxland Foundation for thinking of the city of Hawarden with that. Corey Utek, Chief of Police.
With the cleanup days coming on May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I've decided to extend to anybody that has one of the nuisance abatement original notices to extend their sanctions or fines until after the 5th. So that way I'm going to give everybody a little bit more time to get their stuff thrown away. We've had, I want to thank those people that have complied. I want to say about 60% of people have gotten everything in compliance that we've sent letters out to at this time. And I know I've been driving around town as well as the other officers, and we've seen a lot of stockpiles already, which I'm assuming is for the cleanup days, which, you know, we're happy to see that. So anybody that does have that original notice right now, like I said, after the 5th, then we might have to send out a fine. But until then, they got plenty of time to get it down there and get it taken care of. Other than that, we're going to start seeing some tractors and stuff on the roadways again, so make sure we're privy of that and drive careful.
Big tractors at that.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Pickner, anything from city attorney?
No, I don't have anything.
All right, thanks for your work, though, even though you don't have anything. That's
You're welcome.
it's always always a blessing when you don't, so to speak. Not that we don't love you. Well, tonight's agenda items are full of resolutions. Agenda items number 3 to 7 will be in regards to CDGB grants for housing, and then 8 through 12 will be in regards to FEMA, and then a hearing on real property, and then a consent agenda. So we'll have a lot of Jacob, I hope you're ready for a lot of voice votes. So, agenda item number 3A is a public hearing. This is a public hearing on the Housing Fund Grant. I'm going to open the public hearing at this point, and read this statement in regards to the citizen participation plan. To comply with citizen participation requirements pursuant to the requirements of Section 508 of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1987, as amended, this public hearing is being held by the Hawarden City Council for the purpose of discussing and submitting a Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, application for the City of Hawarden owner-occupied housing rehabilitation project. The purpose of the Housing Fund Grant will be to rehabilitate 6 owner-occupied housing units. The nature of the proposed improvements include providing assistance to existing low to moderate income homeowners to make necessary repairs to their houses. The proposed project will occur entirely within the city limits in a target area bound on the north by 18th Street, on the east by Avenue L, on the south by 13th Street, and on the west by Avenue D. No new excavation or ground disturbance is expected. The need for the proposed project was identified based on results from the windshield survey, and that the city has 12 pre-applications on file. 100% of the requested grant funds will benefit low to moderate income households. A CDBG application for federal grant assistance will be submitted on or before May 4th, 2019 to the Iowa Economic Development Authority. The total project cost is estimated at $219,084. The sources for this proposed funding are $207,084 in requested CDBG funds and a $12,000 local match from the City of Hawarden. Due to the nature of this project, no persons or businesses shall be displaced as a result of the recommended project activities. In the event any persons or businesses are displaced as a result of the project, the entities involved will adhere to the requirements of the Uniform Relocation and Assistance and Acquisition Act of 1974, as amended. And if this is off the cuff, if you'd like me to find that, I will certainly find that for you if you want to read that in your entirety. That being said, in the public hearing, have we received any comments at the city level?
Nothing.
Okay, anyone in the public wish to comment or council comment in the public hearing? I'll just make the comment that we have done these projects in the past, and it's been a very good benefit to those homeowners that have been selected and approved. I will then close the public hearing, which leads us to the resolution 2018-11. This is a resolution of the mayor and city council, the city of Hawarden, Iowa, authorizing an application to the Housing Fund Grant Program, committing local match to the project, again in the amount of $12,000, and designating persons authorized to execute said application.
So moved.
Been moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jen. Do I dare ask for clarifications or anything like that? Clear as mud, isn't it? I won't ask for that, but I will move to a roll call vote for Resolution 2018-11.
Kurth.
Yes.
Olson.
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Clucky. Aye.
On a 5-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2018-11 passes. Agenda item number 4, Resolution 2019-12. This is to adopt the administrative plan for the CDGB Owner-Occupied Housing Rehabilitation Grant from the Iowa Economic Development Authority. Is there a motion for Resolution 2019-12?
So moved.
Moved by Tim, second by
Second.
John. Questions with this? Roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2019-12.
Olson.
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Clucky. Aye. Kurth.
Aye.
On a 5-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2019-12 passes. This resolution, 2019-13, is requesting the assistance of the staff of the Northwest Iowa Planning and Development Commission to assist us with the CDGB grant. Is there a motion for this resolution?
So moved.
Moved by Rob, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jen. Roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2019-13.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Clucky. Aye. Kurth.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye. On a 5-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2019-13 passes. Agenda item number 6, Resolution 2019-14. This authorizes the procurement of a housing rehabilitation inspector as part of the Hawarden owner-occupied housing rehabilitation program. Does this inspector come through the Northwest Iowa Planning?
Yes, this is the one that they work with all the time that they're comfortable with, and he's the only applicant for an inspector with the Northwest Iowa Planning and Development.
So it makes it a little bit easier
A
then.
little bit easier.
Okay, is there a motion for resolution? Tim?
Yep.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. Roll call vote, please, for resolution 2019-14.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Clucky. Aye. Kurth.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
On a 5-0 roll call vote, resolution 2019-14 passes. And lastly, in regards to the CDGB, resolution 2019-15, requesting the assistance of the staff of the Northwest Iowa Planning and Development Commission in the application of a Community Development Block Grant Housing Fund.
This is for the technical service part of it. The one earlier was administrative.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Travis, seconded by Tim. Roll call vote, please, for resolution 2019-15.
Clucky. Aye. Kurth.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Thank you. On a 5-0 roll call vote, that resolution passes also. Agenda item numbers are 8 to 12. Do you want to give us just an overview of,
This next one
One in
isn't with
between.
FEMA.
pardon?
You got one in between, don't you?
Yeah,
Sorry.
2019-16 is not for FEMA.
I'm sorry.
This is for Jim.
Yeah. This is just, from time to time, we may want to acquire properties that are sold for tax sale. There's a statute that requires that you guys designate an officer who will provide the notice of their opportunity to redeem those properties, and we didn't have anybody appointed that I can tell, so.
Then this will be appointing city
Appoint
administrator.
Mike, yeah.
Okay.
So moved.
Moved by Tim. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Jen. My apologies for not following that. There's been a motion and a second for resolution 2019-16. Call for a roll call vote, please.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Clucky. Aye.
5-0 roll call vote. Resolution 2019-16 passes. We'll now move into FEMA.
In order to, for flooding reimbursement, we have to adopt the following FEMA recommended policies, which include federal language in them. We do have one of the policies already in place, but we have to amend that one to add the federal language. These all came directly from our state level to us to adopt. So if we want to be reimbursed, we have to adopt these.
Agenda item number 9, resolution 2019-17, adopting a fraud reporting policy for all officers, employees, and agents of the city of Hawarden in regards to these projects. Is that correct?
So moved.
It's been moved by Travis. Is there a
Second.
second? Seconded by Tim. Roll call vote, please, for resolution 2019-17.
Kurth.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Clucky. Aye. Feldhacker.
Aye.
On a 5-0 roll call vote, this resolution passes. Resolution 2019-18, this is adopting an addendum to the conflict of interest policy of the city of Hawarden. It's exactly what it says. You can certainly read it, but I don't know that that's necessary. If people are interested, they can find it on our website. So Any questions with Resolution 2019-18? Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Jen, seconded by Tim. Roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2019-18.
Bergsma,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Lucky,
Aye.
Feldhacker,
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
On a 5-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2019-18 passes. Hang in there, we're just about done. Agenda item number 11. Resolution 2019-19, adopting a procurement policy for officers, employees, and agents, stating that we will buy it in,
We'll abide by fair procurement policies that we do have to do a check on them to make sure they're not on the banned list, things like that, so.
is there a motion for this resolution?
So moved.
Moved
I'll
by
second it.
Jen, seconded by Rob. Roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2019-19.
Olson,
Aye.
Lucky,
Aye.
Feldhacker,
Aye.
Kurth,
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Resolution 2019-19 passes 5-0. Resolution 2019-20 is adopting a segregation of duties policy for officers, employees, and agents. It only makes sense to have good segregation when you're dealing with any project, and this will help us do that.
So moved.
Been moved by Jen. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Seconded by Travis. Roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2019-20.
Lucky,
Aye.
Feldhacker,
Aye.
Kurth,
Aye.
Bergsma,
Aye.
Olson.
Aye. On a 5-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2019-20 passes. Those then complete the agenda items in regards to FEMA. Agenda item number 13, this is a resolution 2019-21. We're proposing to dispose of property and publishing a notice of public hearing. The public hearing will take place on May the 8th. Property is at
704 Avenue K.
704 Avenue K. This is a property that the city had acquired through
Through an abatement process. We removed a house on the property and we own it.
So this will set the public hearing for our next regular stated meeting, May the 8th.
So moved.
Moved by Travis, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jen. Roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2019-21.
Olson,
Aye.
Bergsma,
Aye.
Lucky,
Aye.
Feldhacker,
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
On a 5-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2019-21 passes. Hang in there, we're close to being done. Consent agenda from Brian Engelman Sportsman's for a liquor license transfer on May the 11th and a renewal of a Class C liquor license to the Hawarden Golf Club. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Jen, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. All in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 5-0. My thanks for the government people for being here from West Sioux tonight. They do wish to have a picture when we are completed. Our next regular stated meeting will be Wednesday, May the 8th. Again, thank you for your attendance. Thanks for your attention. I, at this point, would entertain one more motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Thank you, Rob. Is there a second?
Second.
Jim, thank you so much. I'll accept that. The Hawarden City Council is now adjourned.